some tea. What up, everyone? How's everyone doing? My tea party at? There we go. What up? How you doing? Mimi, how you doing? Simba, what's up? Carl, Joshua, Nube, DEP. How's the tent life, bro? I just watched your video on living in a bubble. Interesting. Menashe, what up? Prince, what's happening? How's everyone doing? Honorable Kademaunga, what's up? You okay? How you doing? How's everyone doing? Please share the video. Please, please, please share the video. Let's get more people to watch. We all know what's going on. Yo, Uncle Ray Ray, what's up? John, how you doing? Prince, what's up? What's up? How do we deal with this cancer called Zanu-PF? Good question. Good question, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Yo, Bright, what's up? Yeah, the lady in the building. Yo, guys, how you doing? Listen, let's go straight in. 57 people watching. Please share the video if you can. Amanda, how you doing? Guys, here we go again. It's tea time. It's tea time. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I thought I would have a conversation with you. And I was going to come out straight and be absolutely honest in my conflictions. You see, today I wear three hats. And I need everyone to understand that I'm going to try and talk you through the three hats that I'm wearing and the way I feel about each one of those hats. Okay? Now, I had promised on Twitter that I was going to stop swearing this year on social media. I promised that if I say a word like fuck or shit, I would pay $10 to my nearest charity. So now that I've said them twice, I'm going to ignore that little pledge of mine for the time being so that I can be expressive as possible. But I'm going to try and keep the language as clean as possible, if it's possible. So first of all, as you all have traveled along this journey with me, you know the stages I've gone through. You knew me when I was a dude who, my ex-wife had just left me. You knew me as a dude who was an activist. You knew me when I was fighting with police constantly. You knew me when I was getting kidnapped and beaten up. You know, you knew me when I was a campaign manager for Zaima's campaign. You've known me in very many iterations, and you've grown with me over the time. So today I need to tell you about the hats that I'm wearing as we sit here today. The first hat I'm gonna try and explain my conflictions is the hat of the activist. You see, as an activist, we have witnessed this country continuously degenerate and get worse and worse and worse and worse. The Pharaohs said to us, give ED a chance. You see, we were the idiots who thought herpes could cure cancer. Herpes cannot cure cancer. See, people say, you guys celebrated on the streets when they ousted Mugabe. Fuck yes, we celebrated on the streets. Mugabe was terrible for us. Mugabe hurt us a lot. Physically hurt me a lot. Physically, mentally, psychologically hurt my generation extremely, you know. So we were extremely happy when Mugabe was ousted. So when people say to us, why did you celebrate when Mugabe was kicked out? I say, fuck you. Okay? We celebrated because that's a human emotion to do. Humans celebrate. Humans are hopeful. You know, it's really important that people understand something. If you go to any refugee camp in the world, if you go to Syria right now, you'll notice, if you go into a refugee camp in Syria, you'll notice people are still getting married. People still have sex. People still have hope. even in refugee camps, after they've seen their families butchered, human beings are hopeful. So when these army monsters took over, we were hopeful. Because that's a human emotion. As I sit here with the activist hat on, my instinct is we need to shut this bitch down. There is no way you can ever negotiate with terrorists, and we're being ruled by terrorists. That's a fact. You do not negotiate with terrorists. You don't have dialogue with terrorists. You don't have dialogue with monsters. You don't have dialogue with fucking, with looters, barbarians. And this is what is currently in charge of our country. So my initial instinct as an activist is, let's shut this motherfucker down. And I mean shut it down. And I mean shut it down and don't bring the motherfucker back until we have real fucking transformative change in this country. That's the activist talking. And that's what I'm picking up the phone and saying to my comrades every day. Fuck this, man. This is bullshit. That's the anger I'm feeling right now as things continue to degenerate and degenerate and degenerate and degenerate. There is no respite. You see, I sit here also as a person of privilege. I don't immediately feel the pain as quickly as others feel the pain. I'm resourceful. I find a way around. My parents worked really hard. I can tap into their energy. I have siblings. I've been overseas many, many years, so I've got access to foreign accounts and foreign people. But I can tell you now that even a person who contains my privilege is now at a position of suffering. And as a socialist, my empathy, I can tell you that the people who are not as fortunate as us are really, really, really fucking suffering. Which is why it's important for voices to now talk about the truth. And the truth is, this shit doesn't work. And when something doesn't work, it needs a fucking hard reset. Turn the power button off, shut the motherfucker down, right? And turn it on again and maybe it'll start working again. But the shit needs to stop. The shit needs to stop. So that's my hat as an activist. But like I said at the beginning, I'm conflicted. There's a confliction about me. You see, if we don't shut this down and continue to be hopeful, if we don't shut this down and continue to be optimistic that monsters and barbarians and cowards can change, then we're as delusional as they think we are. Then I put on my hat as a business owner, as an employer. The first thing I can tell you about being a business owner and an employer is this. The young men and women who now work for me, and they're all very young, all sub 30 currently, depend on the decisions I make every single day to make sure that they stay employed. Because some of them have been sitting at their houses for years and years and years and years. My young GM for Fresh in a Box, she, when I found her, she was an unemployed, smart agronomist. Smart as hell. And what the job that we gave her at Fresh in a Box gave her a lifeline to start using her expertise in the agronomy she learned for those so many years at the MSU. So as a business owner, when people say shut down your business, let me give you the mathematics. You see, for Fresh in a Box to be able to turn over and just pay its bills, we need to sell at least 50 boxes a day. That's Monday to Friday. 50 boxes a day. If we sell 50 boxes a day, every one of the 15 young employees that now work for Fresh in a Box at least get a salary at the end of the month. And I want you to take note, I said the words at least. See, I can't even pay them as much as they're worth a lot of the times. But at least they get a wage. If we sell 50 boxes a day. And as a business owner, I can tell you one thing for a fact. If you ask me to shut down my business for a day, I must take the day that I shut down, those 50 boxes, and I must try and then divide them in the remaining days of the month for us to stay afloat. This is what would help us keep afloat as a business. So that was the businessman hat owner on there. Just putting the hat on. To understand why, now when I see why sometimes business owners are reticent to shut down, I know that when they talk about their targets and what they have to meet, shutting down actually has a direct impact on business. So remember, the activist in me says, shut this bitch down, okay? The activist in me says, shut this bitch down. Shut it down. Shut it down, okay? But the business owner in me says, fuck, if you shut down for 2 days, motherfucker, that's 100 boxes you need to sell to just break even. When you shut down for 2 days, there's farmers in my value chain, over 130 farmers in my value chain who depend on me getting their produce and selling it and delivering it to people's homes. And if I don't do that, they don't have my income for that particular day. So I'll take Jackie, who sells us broccoli. How much do you sell a broccoli for? $1.50 a kg. Okay? We're taking 300 kgs of a broccoli a day so we can deliver to customers. But if I not go for 2 days, Jackie loses the income that she depends on fish in a box to give her for her to come, for her to actually survive, even as a farmer. And because sometimes we've had growing agreements, I know what happens to the produce if we keep it in the Amunda for longer than it's supposed to be there. So as a business owner, I want you as the Tea Party to understand that I understand why people in business are reticent and find it hard, okay, to shut down when people say shut down. The activist in me says, fuck this, let's shut this down. It has to shut down. The business owner realizes that every day we shut it down, we lose money. Those are the first two hats that I'm wearing. The third hat that I'm wearing is that I'm a new father. I've now got 4 children, and these 4 children depend on me. My youngest daughter is the one who has been born in Zimbabwe. And it hurts me to know that my youngest daughters, Tanaya and Anai, because Tanaya was born overseas, but she came here very young, so she knows no better. They are going to grow up in an environment where they believe the abnormal is normal. They're going to grow up believing that the abnormal is normal. They're going to grow up believing that being led by monsters who believe in mermaids is normal. They're going to grow up believing that, roads are fucked by just they're fucked. They're going to grow up believing that you turn on the tap and you can't drink the water because it's fucked. And that, as a father, scares me more. So, the 3 hats: the activist, anger. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention, shut this bitch down. The business owner. If we shut down, we're going to lose money. The father. If we do nothing, our children are going to grow up in an abnormal environment with no hope and no future. God forbid that my daughters end up at UZ having to look for a blesser to get their hair done. God forbid that my daughters have to end up standing on the streets of Harare because I'm such a fat cunt, I die of a heart attack and they left to derelict in this world. God forbid that I can't save money and leave them any legacy. God forbid. You see, as I look at my situation now as the businessman, the activist now starts talking to the businessman, and the father starts talking to the businessman and says, right, businessman, this is the activist talking to the businessman. My nigga, you love this business, you want your employees to keep earning money, but this can't just put up the price of fuel by 3 times. How the fuck are you going to run your business? How much are you going to cost your box? How are you going to even deliver with the cost of deliveries going up? That's the activist shouting at the businessman. Then the businessman looks at the activist and says, but dude, fuck man, don't you understand that the bond is not money anyway? It was speculative, and fuel now at $3.31 for petrol is actually the correct price, right? Because bond is not money. So we're already being subsidized. And that's untenable for a country to subsidize the fuel of an entire country. People buying cars every day, and the government is taking all our forex and putting it to fuel and giving it to Queen Bee and those traffic gura motherfuckers. So $3.31, that's the correct price. If you look at it on the current rate and you divide it down, that's $1 a liter. Fuck yes, that's the way it should be. Then the activist says, but my nigga, you priced your box using that Bakosi fuel. So what are you going to do now? Hello? Are we still together? So the businessman then says, this is actually the correct price of fuel, motherfucker. I'm now at $310 swearing. If that's bond, that's fine. Fuck, that's like $100. That's fine. See, that's the businessman swearing at the activist and saying, dude, you're being unreasonable. You can't expect the government to be subsidizing your joy to drive around and go pick up your small house. And then the activist says, but my dude, how are these guys going to wake up at midnight and announce a new price rise without gauging the effects of the economy? You see, because a farmer who's going to be farming with a tractor now needs 3 times as much fuel to farm the same produce. A chicken owner now needs to make sure that he can transport his chickens with 3 times as much money. You are going to have to find 3 times as much delivery costs. Plus, you're going to have to pay your farmers more because they have to pay more to make the produce. You see, this is the conversation between the activist Kuda and the business owner Kuda. Because the business owner understands that the one-to-one is bullshit. We understand that we've been benefiting from an unrealistic system where the government heavily subsidizes the money and our fuel expenses. I mean, if you're buying a $1.38 bond for fuel, you're paying the cheapest rates in the world. Now you're paying $3.30. Now you're paying roughly what everybody else is paying. Okay? So that's the businessman fighting with the activist. But to sway the argument, the father then steps in. The father then steps in, says, listen though, both of you have to understand this. You even having this fucking conversation is abnormal. You have children in this environment. The schools they're going to are now demanding US dollars. Right? The food you're buying is now US dollar priced, even in these ballers. The people who are leading you are illegitimate. And that's not normal. You see, so the father in me then steps in and then joins that argument. You see, the activist is saying, shut the fucker down. Shut this bitch down. Shut it down. The business owner is saying, if we shut down, we're going to lose money. And the bond is not real money anyway. So fuel is being subsidized. How the fuck are we going to expect people to keep on subsidizing our fuel? We need business and enterprise to take over and run the way it's supposed to run. But the father then steps in. Says, hold up, motherfucker. You're both right. You're both right. You're both very, very right. But this is not normal. This is not fucking normal. And you, Kuda, as the businessman, trying to continue to innovate and run your businesses. We've just launched, Send a Lighty. It's a great business. It'll give a lot of young people employment. But everything we discussed at the launch of Lighty with the team has been thrown out the window. Because even our costings don't make sense anymore. When we were costing using the combi phase of last week, and now they've gone up 3 times. Even the cost of the cost that we're going to give the Lighty no longer makes sense. We almost have to go and sit down now and recalibrate the Send the Lighty business, because the business worked with the paradigms and dynamics of last week. And no fucking business in this world can ever survive if it has to change its whole business model every single week because of retards who believe in fucking juzu and rocks coming out of fucking diesel coming out of rocks. Changing prices and changing legislation willy-nilly without understanding the problems of this world. I'm now at $400. Okay, I'm going to stop swearing now because I can't afford it. I can't afford it anymore. It's abnormal for me as a man to be standing here with drums, right? With drums of fuel. It's abnormal for me not to sleep with my young, beautiful wife. Or up all night trying to procure diesel, trying to procure fuel so that I can get my deliveries out to my customers. So that's the problem with the businessman's argument. See, the businessman wants to keep pushing and wants to keep pushing and wants to keep pushing, even in this stupid environment. The activist is right in this case, in this situation. The activist is not right. Because the father's argument is, this is all abnormal. So ladies and gentlemen, as a man of conscience, I will not continue to participate in this fuckery. As a man of conscience, as a man with children, as a man with employees, for the sake of those employees, those young men and women who absolutely depend on me to make the best decisions. As a father of 4 children who have to go to these schools and live in this country, the activist is right. The activist is right. We have to shut this motherfucker down. We have no choice. And this time around, this is not some political fucking game anymore. This is not some pro-Chamisa blah blah blah. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. None of these motherfuckers pay me. So I can't be ZANU, I can't be MDC, I can't be, none of them pay me. But now, this is abnormal. So I'm going to be consulting all my comrades. I'm consulting all of them. I want to bring us all together. They're going to have to try and bring us all together. We're all going to have to find each other. We have no choice. This motherfucker needs to shut down. It needs to stop. It's a computer, that's fact. Doesn't work anymore. It's ringing, it's spooling, it's not safe in your work. Just shut it down. Zima, no, turn it off for now. It needs to go off. It needs to go off. We have no more, we can't keep fucking around. It doesn't make sense. So I have heard every argument from the activists. I've heard every argument from business. I sit in both worlds. And I've heard every argument. But the argument of conscience, the argument of clarity, the argument of critical thought has to win. It's not normal for a man of my age to have drums in my house looking for fuel. It's not normal. It's not normal. So the businessman was sitting yesterday watching that press conference of a joke, and he realized you can't keep selling your box at the price that you did. And because you took orders in advance and you have over 300 people who subscribed for the whole month, you are obliged now to make sure those deliveries happen regardless of whether you have the money or not. That is the reality the businessman had to face yesterday as he sat there and thought it through. So as I typed out that statement on the Fresh in a Box page, as I typed that statement, I was angry. I was angry because I'm being forced again to inconvenience my customers. I was angry because again I have to now tell my customers that I have to put the price up. I was angry that my employees know that they have to reach the $50 a day target. But tomorrow I had to stop orders. So they come into work and they're going to look at me and say, now what, Mr. Kuda? And I'm going to tell them, guys, we have to reprice. We have to wait for Mutumwa to give us the new prices for delivery. We have to wait for Lintelo to give us new prices for delivery. Our team in Bulawayo, we have to wait for Tumeza to give us new prices for delivery. Then we have to wait for every single one of the thousands of farmers we work with to tell us how much their produce is costing, so that we can sit down, work out their box cost, and then try and put a markup on it, and then send it to our customers who we know. We know our customers do not have any extra income right now. We know that. The reason why we're so popular, is because we're giving them the best price, especially at a time when the supermarkets were being so fucking unreasonable with pricing. So we know that the customers need us to be on the market. We know that. Because our customers are not rich fucking witty people walking around enjoying our service. They're old people. They're people who can't afford to go into Spar and Pick and Pay and all these places. They're people who relied on us to give them a value service so they could eat healthy, fresh vegetables in their homes. And we know they're not earning any extra money. We know that. But we have to put up the price of them again. I have to look at the Lighty team tomorrow We got Bernice, we got Short, we got Tatenda. These are young people who have just are part of a new company. They've just signed contracts with us to launch a brand new company in the midst of a fucking storm. And I'm going to have to tell them, let's really rethink our business. You know that pricing sheet we did? Let's rethink that. All those nice, cool videos we did, Rafi, that has to stop because those prices don't make sense anymore. I have to say, do we start considering charging in US dollars? Then we think again, our customers are not earning in US dollars. So how can we righteously do that? So then again, you look at the activist, and the activist is correct. We've got to shut this shit down. Chris Mberi says, you shut down and what? Okay, Chris, I'm going to ask you a question. You don't shut down and then what? You don't shut down and then what? We continue to live in this perpetual loop, perpetual cycle of stupidness? Am I going to be putting out press statements every week to my customers that I've changed the price? Do you know that these men have robbed us one more time? They've done it twice before. They're doing it again. You see, they told us that the bond was just an economic incentive for exporters. Now we have bank accounts with FCA and bond value. Now we have EcoCash robbing us with 15, 18, 20% so we can try and access cash to pay our farmers. You see, we can't run business like that anymore, right? So the price of not doing anything is far more costly than the price of us sacrificing our comforts for now and doing something about it. So we have no choice, Chris. We have no choice. Has anyone else got any questions? There's no reason for you to wake up and go to work tomorrow. There's no reason. You're doing nothing. What are you going to work to do? Exactly. Earn $350? Well, let me tell you what $350 can get you, guys. $350 can barely get you 100 liters of fuel. That's what $350 can get you. That's what it can get you, right? $350 can. Let's say you spend 100 liters of fuel a month. So let's bring that down. Let's say you spend 100. Let's say you say 50 liters of fuel a month. Okay, so 150 something dollars of fuel that you spend. Okay, let's say in your household you need a loaf of bread a day. Loaf of bread, bread is not $2.50. Right. So let's say 20 days you buy a loaf of bread. So times $2.50 by 20. I mean, who the hell can survive in this current environment now? There's no point. Right? If you have to get a combi from Chitungwiza to Harare to work and you're paying $5 each ways, as a security guard, you might as well fucking stay at home and play with your children. If you're a teacher, you might as well stay at home. Because what are you teaching these children? Because it's not true. You're teaching them that if they get educated, that they can become successful. It's not true. Because when we launched the Lighty registration, we got over 10,000 registrants, and all those people all say they have degrees. Every single one of them. And every single one of them is agreeing to get $3 an hour. And they're allowed to stipulate it themselves, by the way. They could push it to $20 an hour, but all of them are saying, I'm willing to even work for $2 an hour. Graduates. So when you told us that we get learned and we get money, that was a lie. Right? On the Lighty app, you can choose the kind of jobs you're willing to do. We have nurses and accountants who are willing to do house cleaning. So when you tell us that you're teaching us so that we can become successful, it's a lie. So why is a teacher going to work tomorrow? Well, fuck, why are we sending our kids to school tomorrow? What exactly are we sending them to do? To learn to read press statements from presidents? No, man. We don't want those failed shutdowns of previous years. Those were stupid shutdowns. We shut down for one day and then what? It needs to stop. Let's stop. Stop. Let's stay at our houses. Those monsters will shoot us if we go on the street. Let's stay at our cribs. Let's shut down for a bit. Let's just shut down. Let's give it a couple of months if necessary. Let's give it a couple of years. Because I tell you what, if we don't, this will happen forever. This will fucking happen forever. If you're a ZANU PF, hey, shout out AC Lamumba. If you're a ZANU PF youth right now, why are you waking up every single day to be a used condom by these fucking politicians? No. Even ZANU-PF youth, you've got to join in too. What are you doing otherwise? They can give you a car, but then what? How are you gonna pay for fuel? You can only loot for so long. It's impossible. There's no reason for us to keep going. There's no reason. So I've got a message to all my activist brothers and sisters and comrades. You gotta give up that fucking egomaniac bullshit that you guys have been on for the last 3 years. To all my comrades, to all my pastors and advocates, and all my comrades, the Jamuka, everybody out there, everybody. I'm talking to everybody. You egomaniacs. The generation that fails to talk and work with each other. The generation that hates each other. That shit's got to stop. You're fucking letting us all down. All of you. That shit needs to be put aside now. That shit needs to be put aside now. To all you politicians. All you politicians. You egomaniac, greedy, fucking selfish pricks. You need to stop that shit now too. It's a very simple solution. Unity. Unity of purpose. Know where we're going. And all I want us to do is shut it down. Let's just shut it down. It just needs to stop. All of them. We stop. We stop, we wait, we just stop. They don't need kids, they need to go to school. We don't need to go to work because there's no work that we're going to. These petrol stations don't need to open, you know. And I believe anyone who defies the shutdown is a treasonous human being and should be dealt with as such. Anyone who defies it should be dealt with as such because they're treasonous. They're treasonous to an entire generation, multiple generations, our parents' generations, our uncles' generations, our generations, the youngins before us, the millennials, you know, our babies. Anyone who defies it is a traitor. And traitors should be treated as such. All you egomaniacs, all you activists, everybody out there, we need to stop that nonsense. That failure to talk, that failure to coerce, the failure to work together, that needs to stop. This disorganized, disjointed WhatsApp messaging activism needs to stop. We need to organize. And all you C10s who are watching this talk to you, I'm talking to you too. All you CIOs and military intelligence, I know you're watching. Same goes to you. What exactly are we doing it for? It will never stop. It will never stop. So, this is what we need to demand. Number one. 1:1 is bullshit. It's a joke. Stop it now. Tell the truth. Number two, 2% tax is unacceptable. It's unacceptable that me sending pocket money to my son is taxed and him paying for ice cream is taxed. It's unacceptable. We work hard for our money. That's what we want. Our money. We'll pay Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And Caesar should stop robbing us with aid levies and tourism levies for Karikoga and his fuckboys to enjoy the good life in fucking airplanes. We want to know exactly what the fuck the plan is for this country. You understand? We want to know exactly what the plan is for this country. We want the banks and the profiteers like EcoCash, those criminals at Econet, to atone for their sins. They can't become billion-dollar companies off the backs of suffering people. How are they all making profits when we're all suffering? How? And we want our country to be like every other country in the world, where plastic money is cheaper to use than cash. Because it's supposed to be convenient, not a profiteering tool for government and corrupt business. And number three, we want legitimacy. We want democracy. So nothing else matters, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing fucking matters. Nothing fucking matters. I'm sorry I broke my no swearing curfew, but that's just the way it is. How much do I owe? Can someone tell me how much I owe a charity? How much do I owe? Shupi guy says I owe 620. Is 600? Do we all agree I owe 620? Okay. Does anyone want to join me? Anyone want to say anything? 650. Okay. 640. 600. I'll take the higher figure. 650. I owe $650 to a charity. I promise you I'll be faithful. I'll be faithful. I'll do a live video when I donate $650, like guess worth of produce or something to a charity, or $200 according to the current actual rate to our retard government. Anyway, if you want to watch AC, watch him tonight at 9 p.m. I know he's got a lot to say. So let's watch AC at 9 p.m. tonight. Otherwise, they'll shut it down. So yeah, if you didn't catch what I was saying before, please rewind the video. I tried to explain, number one, why I think we should shut it down. I tried to explain the counter argument when I put on my businessman hat of why we shouldn't, right? And then I tried to explain the father's perspective and why the activists' argument wins over the businessman's argument. And when these businessmen try and fucking tell us otherwise, they're profiteering. Profiteering. All right. Fuck, it's so depressing. Do you know that I don't even buy my BP meds anymore because I can't afford them? My employees, I got people who depend on me. They depend on me.